and I'm here giving my last speech over pit bulls, but I'd first like to introduce my audience. I have Frank, my stepdad over here, who's pretty awesome. I have my little sister Allie, and I have my awesome grandma. Say hi, Grandma.
Hello.
Alright, and my mother is videotaping, but she refuses to show her face, so there's another audience member right there. But for today, I have these two little guys right here. This is Rosie, and this is Patches. And they will both be used in today's video later on. They're both sisters, which is going to come into play in a little bit, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to hand them back to the lovely grandmother over here. Now, I am once again here to inform you about pit bulls and answer the question and stand for their fight against whether or not they really are evil and aggressive dogs as people in the media portray them to be. My first point on how I want to prove to you that they are not aggressive is through stories. The second is by proving you through as to how they got their bad rep and if it really is true or not. 3, I want to show you statistical facts about the dog and the dog breed. Now, in my first speech, I talked to you about Sergeant Stubby. Now, Sergeant Stubby was a World War II dog who literally did so many amazing things. I never considered a pit bull ever being a police dog or a fighting dog for the military. It just never comes to mind. But he did. He saved over 155 people, I think. He helped lead people to the injured. He warned them about poison gas attacks. He brought down a German spy all by himself. He was awarded the Purple Heart, which I didn't even know dogs could be awarded. He also is still to this day the most decorated war dog. And there's many other stories, such as we have Crash, a pit bull who protected his pregnant master when she was attacked by somebody who was trying to mug her in 2011. Then we also have Champion, a pit bull who found an elderly woman who had fallen into a ditch and warned his master and brought her to the victim, and they saved her. And there's many other stories through the website that you can find this all out, and you can even see videos of them saving people on insuranceowl.org, Pitbull Heroes Hall of Fame. And to move on to my other point, I would like to get on to the fact of why people consider them a bad dog. Now, something that I found extremely surprising, and I mentioned this in my second speech, was that in the early 1900s and late 1900s, these dogs were considered America's national dog. They were sought after by families all over America. Like, everybody wanted these dogs. Many people, like when you go into an animal shelter, you probably will see lots of pit bulls there because many people don't want them anymore. Back in that time, you couldn't find hardly any because everybody wanted them. They were constantly being bought and sold. So I found that was pretty interesting. They were even hosted on many TV shows and movies like Little Rascals, which I bet many of us love and have seen before. It wasn't until the 1970s that these dogs got their bad rep. And the reason they got this bad rep was because there was this huge movement to stop dog fighting. And these people in the movement got with the media, and they managed to make dog fighting on every single newspaper in America, which led to people seeing these dogs as vicious attack dogs, which in reality is not true at all. This actually just managed to make the problem worse, because now the people who really should not have these dogs started to want them more. So, as we continue on to our third point of facts about why are dogs bad dogs. Like, what makes a dog a bad dog? Dr. Sherlene Carner Davis, a professor of animal behavior, answers this question, saying, and I quote, "We know that the behavior of dogs is the consequence of interaction between their genetics and their environment." Meaning that when all these people started getting these dogs, you know, the bad people, of course, they're not going to just do right things with them. It actually is proven that over half the people that own pit bulls all have criminal backgrounds and criminal records. So, of course, they're not going to be breeding them properly like they should. They're not going to be training them properly because, again, People used to look at them as the loving family companions. Now they look at them as this aggressive dog which they could use for bad things. So that's one of the main reasons that people say that their genetics are messed up. It's because they have not been bred well. Just the normal genetics alone, they're great dogs. So I'm going to give out my props right quick. Rosie, she kind of ran away. Give me a second. So I'm first going to explain Patches. This here's Patches. She is my grandmother's dog. And even though these two dogs right here are sisters, you can tell that one's, a little heavier than the other. Both of them have very different personalities. They're both born at the very same time, a few seconds apart probably, but they both have the same mother and same father. Yet this one does not like children at all. This one will snap and bite. We usually have to lock her up when children are around, If not, you might get some growling here and, children might be scared. This one, she's pretty good with kids. She likes them, she likes playing with them, and it's just a completely different personality. Genetics has nothing to do with it. What has to do with it is where they live and where they've grown up. Both of these have two different owners. This one has a young owner, and this one has my grandmother. They're just completely different environments, completely different dogs. Thank you.